past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, him on Island, and asking for help from David and Melissa Shield. Them discovering that Midoriya's crazy accusations of him still being quirkless and there being an alien in his blood aren't actually, well, crazy delusions. He might be telling the truth, especially because the research does not add up. Now, along with that, we do actually have the USJ. Now, it is going to be going on in the background. And, well, just to say in the least, I am going to be flipping a coin in the next part to see who lived and who died. Along with that, I believe I can come up with a successor for One for All, just in case All Might does die. Now then, with that all being said, let us continue. We do have the day where the USJ will be taking place. Midoriya waking up, as he does actually get dressed, taking a shower, and actually walking out, as he is walking around the park with Mr. Shield, actually trying to get more information out of Midoriya, and curious, wondering about exactly what he can do with his strange powers. Midoriya is just trying to explain it, along with the strange visions that he does have. Mr. Shield quite impressed, as he actually does also ask Midoriya if he would like to try out some of the park tests, just so that he does have a good idea of where he does stand with his abilities. Sure, I can do that. But are there any combat robots? I believe so, yes. But they're spread out over a large area. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that does work. Midoriya going to do that test, where he does actually step up. Tourism around the park hasn't picked up yet for the summer. And Izuku, he does see that. People were surprised that somebody did actually step up to this area. And whenever they do actually see Midoriya just staying there in a plain black shirt and let's say a pair of shorts, they don't really know what to say really. Until Midoriya does actually hear go. People watching as Midoriya's right leg immediately would begin to change, along with most of his body, as he actually does throw up both of his hands. Each one of Midoriya's fingers elongating and creating branch-like structures, as Midoriya has already smashed into multiple robots, and within the span of 20 seconds has taken down 20. Midoriya's fingers disconnecting as he actually does sprout wings from his back and fly directly up, and go into his armored-like mode. As he does fly up and over the mountains, he actually does immediately, with a large, mighty flap of his wings, create somewhat of a small shockwave in the air, as he does move downwards forwards as he would throw out his hands again, picking up the pieces of flesh that he disconnected, as they all quickly do at least whip around and try and smash out all the robots. As Midoriya, he would then land and stand up onto his feet. Everyone looking at Midoriya. His skin is now red and white, and his body looks like it's composed of armor. And then there's his face. Somebody actually shouting that it's a villain. Midoriya actually looking in their direction. And then actually slowly shrinking back down. As he actually does look at the shirt David did give him. He did mess it up quite a bit, and the robots, whenever he did slash at them, some of the debris did actually hit his body. And then there is the giant hole on the back of his shirt, along with the pants that he did actually stretch out. Midoriya actually grabbing them and holding them up. As a woman would just come up saying that, "Oh, wow, that was impressive. Your time was 5 seconds. Hmm? Really? Only 5? Huh? Yes, young man. That's quite a powerful and impressive quirk. Oh, thank you. I wasn't really trying too hard. Huh? Now, David would hear about that. Midoriya wasn't trying too hard? What does that even mean? This kid just took out 50 robots in 5 seconds. The way he moves, the way he flies. He's clearly trained his abilities to a fine point. Maybe, just maybe. Let's see. Okay. I can see why they were so keen to test him so much. So keen to get in his mind and study what he is becoming. But maybe that's the mistake they made. Whoever had him first, they approached this like he was a lab rat, not a person. David actually walking up to Midoriya and saying that they must go and get to a fine change of clothes. They might be able to find something over at one of the shops. He thinks that one of them might at least be open right now. It might be a slow day, but still they do like profits. As he would take Midoriya over that way. Now, he's just spending time around Midoriya and studying him, seeing exactly how he reacts to anything. And he does notice it. Midoriya, at one point in the day, did actually stare off blank-faced. He was actually eating, let's say, let's say he was eating some type of kebab, like something on a stick. He was eating it, and he did have something in his mouth. However, he just paused, and then stayed like that for a solid 2 minutes, before it eventually fell out of his mouth and he dropped the kebab. Mr. Shields was watching Midoriya, and very curious as to why he did do that. Midoriya snapping out of it and looking back at David Shields. Huh? Where am I? Midoriya, you're at High Island. Oh, Mr. Shield. Sorry, it's... how long was I gone? About 2 minutes. Wow. That was a longer one. What did you see? Oh, well... They're performing more tests on the creature. Oh. Was there anything in particular you saw? They're taking tissue samples. And they're not doing it delicately. I see. So, do you feel those? What? Well, yes. Sometimes it's weird. It's like a phantom pain I feel. I felt it once before. In fact, it was like experiencing death. Midoriya visibly shaking. Mr. Shield telling Midoriya that he doesn't need to talk about that anymore, and that he does want to talk to Midoriya about something. He would like Midoriya to join him in his lab. Midoriya staring a look back at Mr. Shield. his eyes actually somewhat turning red, and into somewhat of a predator's appearance. Mr. Shield bring up both of his hands, saying not as a test subject, as a doctor. Midoriya will set the boundaries, and Mr. Shield will follow him. Along with that, the only other person working on the project would be Melissa. He is not going to treat Midoriya as a lab rat or a test subject. His entire stay at the island and the research and boundaries will all be up to him. However, as much as he wants to expose and let them examine and perform further research on. Whatever is in Midoriya's blood, if they can truly get rid of it, well, they can figure out why they put it there in the first place. It's a long shot, but it could be possible. Midoriya actually looking at Mr. Shields, and his eyes do somewhat go back to normal, as he just looks down, telling Mr. Shield that he'll think about it, as he does slowly nod. Now, the two do go back, Midoriya being walked to his room as, a couple minutes later, Melissa would come in. And she does come in with a small box. Now, both of them would sit down, and Melissa would actually extract a small blood sample from Midoriya, handing him the needle and the tube, as Midoriya actually would do something creepy that Melissa would not be used to seeing. You watch as Midoriya's skin does actually move out of the way, and a blood tube does actually come out of Midoriya's wrist, as it does actually bend as Midoriya just pokes into it. Melissa actually looking at that and someone just feeling a, well, shiver up her spine. Now, she would then actually ask Midoriya if that's normal or does that hurt? Just a little bit. Oh, okay. So did my dad tell you about the offer? Oh, to help you with your research? Yeah, he did. Okay. Well, what do you think about it? It's, well, slightly discomforting to me. Yeah. I'm still trying to get used to all this. I haven't even really been out of that lab for a week, let alone getting back into another one. I did want to just, I don't know. There's these certain feelings in my head. I just want to build a pack, you know? Be around people like me. Like you? What do you mean? Well, I mean, you were someone like me, right? We're both quirkless. Well, of course, silly, we both are, but you're a special case now. That's right. Melissa actually at least bring a hand up to Midoriya's shoulder and holding onto one of his arms. Her actually being a bit surprised that it's a bit more muscular than she really did think, as it's a lot more firm and doesn't move. Her telling Midoriya that after they figure out what to do and how to cure him, they can do whatever he wants. Hell, she can talk to her dad about taking him to Paris, or even to go see some places. Ask him if he's ever wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon? Yeah, it's a place out in America. It's this giant, huge canyon that just goes on for miles. Really? Yeah, it's amazing to look at. Even then, what is it? We can go to the top of Tokyo Tower. I hear the view up there is amazing. Alright. Yeah, that sounds good. Well then, if we're gonna make this happen, then I guess I should join you guys in the lab. Melissa at least slowly smiling, telling Midori that it's baby steps, and that's all that really does matter. Now, with that being said, Melissa, she actually does get up and take the small container of blood, as she would go to leave, telling Midori to have a good rest of his evening. Now, with that being said, Melissa does actually start to walk down the hallway, until a loud sound can be heard. Her actually just dropping what she has in her hands, and turning around and running back towards Midori's room, as she is actually trying to open the door. It's locked. Her asking Midori to please open the door, as she doesn't have a key card. Now, inside the room we do have Midoriya, who after he did try and stand up, his head got all fuzzy, and then it got really warm, before he just fell over, and he just started to scream out, as his hands turned into claws, and he felt the adaptation quickly begin to start happening. He's adapting to whatever's going on, as his eyes do roll into the back of his head, and Midoriya just begins to convulse, as here is what he is seeing. The creature is broken containment. It was able to get into one of the security guards that were in those giant suits, and it's currently in the air vents. It's in multiple places. It's in the guards, it's in the vent, it's in the air. What happened? Now, Midoriya, he is at least piecing it all together, watching as one of the people who are infected actually do have have somewhat of a water-based quirk. And they're just pumping blood through the air vents, and infecting multiple people around. The thing is just trying to escape, and this isn't good. It's already looking into different people's heads, and he knows this, as protocol does dictate that the lab they're all inside of will detonate because of biological leak. And the thing, using its newly acquired intellect, does actually begin to start trying to escape the facility. It breaking itself down into different groups, and trying to escape. Now, armed security that is left in the facility do try and prevent this. Them taking down hallways, collapsing them, and completely destroying staircases. However, they're not dealing with just any sort of quirked person, as multiple different people using their own quirks and the abilities of the thing are overpowering security. And of the few survivors that they know are not infected, even then that's still a high risk of letting them just walk away. So, they've all come to a conclusion. All of them need to die here. And this place, it needs to be scorched. Nothing can remain here. However, before they can even enact the plan, something does burst through the reinforced door, and a massive wave of flesh just tries to overpower the men, them firing into it and using explosives and flamethrowers, burning and blowing away flesh as it just throws the thing in different directions, infecting the people who are trying to hold the line. As the creature, it's able to jump over this large wave, and quickly land on a few people, going to drag them away as it is trying to escape, since it is now on the surface. Now, people are just trying to hunt it all down, and the thing is injecting massive amounts of its own DNA inside of these people, them screaming out in pain and just trying to get away, until the thing does just jump over where it's at. And the people, they actually have their bodies slam into different trees, as the biomass of the thing is starting to get smaller. And This would be whenever these two people, they actually do somewhat get up onto their feet and devouring what's left of the creature, as both of them actually do both turn and look at each other before they do both run in different directions. Now, Midoriya finally does actually just wake up, and his eyes come out of the back of his head as he shoots up, breathing heavily. As Melissa, she's still pounding on the door. Midoriya getting up and slamming the door open. Melissa asking if he's okay. However, there's a look on Midoriya's face, and the way that his body's already adapted. Izuku, are you alright? It's free. What? What are you talking about? What's free? It's out in the open. It's out. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.